Hello, YouTube. It's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day The Last Resort, Season 3, Episode 1. Last Chance for a Fairy Tale. Oh my goodness. Yo. Listen, before we get into this review, I just want to say this. Season 2 of The Last Resort, I hardly covered. I covered a few episodes and then all 5 parts of the tell-all. For obvious reasons, because it was a really toxic cast. It was draining, and I just couldn't do it for the whole season. And I said I would fully do this season, but but I was even contemplating on coming out and doing this one after the first episode because this is going to be another ridiculous season. I said yesterday that it was going to be a sad season, but it's going to be it's going to be sad and ridiculous. And I'm praying I'm going to try to make it through the season, guys. I'm going to try. I'm going to try, but this is going to be a challenge. It's even going to be a challenge on how I even like do these reviews when I speak on these and stuff and everything. So y'all bear with me. I'm going to do the best I can with this. So let's just get started. So it's the premiere of The Last Resort. Normally when we have last resorts, they're literally at a resort, like in a nice warm location. Like season 1 was down in Florida, season 2 was in Arizona, but season 3 is a little bit more fancier. They're in the UK. And they're all going to be staying at a very nice castle and stuff and everything, which the castle looked very beautiful. It looked like the medieval times and stuff, but it was very beautiful. So it's nice. The first couple to arrive to the resort is the people who are going to be causing the most trouble this season, and it's Sarper and Shekinah. They arrive and everything, and they get into their they get checked in, get into their apartment or whatever. They talk about their problems. Shekinah has issues. I mean, we all know Sarper and Shekinah's issues. It's just like Sarper's just in, in alpha male and everything, but he goes overboard with it. Shekinah just got a smart mouth and everything, wants to be in control and stuff. She doesn't like it that Sarper's he likes, since he does comedy, all his comedic stuff is just about the trouble in his marriage with Shekinah and stuff and everything. But they get settled in their room and stuff and everything. On between the sheets, they revealed that there was like a see-through door and stuff. And apparently Sarper doesn't like to use the bathroom like when people are around and stuff and everything. I guess like he has like Shekinah has never seen him pee basically or anything, so he's like really shy about that. So they talked a lot about that and everything. So yeah. The next couple to arrive was Jenny and Cement. Now this is why it's going to be sad. Jenny and Cement are coming to the last resort because two things. One, they closed the family cafe. Remember, we just wrapped up not a few months ago the other way while they were doing the family cafe and stuff. They revealed that the family cafe is now closed. Jenny said that it was a disaster going into business with the family. We all knew that was going to happen. I was surprised that it even lasted that long and stuff and everything. Their storyline is just going to be Cement, like being a mama's boy. The minute he arrived and everything, like Jenny asked him, like, how's it feel to be away from mommy and daddy? And he was like, I ain't gonna lie, I miss them already. Now, you know what? It's fine to miss your mommy and daddy. That's fine. I miss my mommy and daddy when I'm not around them. That's fine. That's fine. But this is what their storyline is going to be. His like mom, his mama's boy's tendencies, and the fact that he likes to drink, and we'll talk more about that later. And what's going to be sad though, we can already tell because we all know Jenny has been diagnosed with ALS. We can already tell like the difference like in their and how she's speaking already. She's speaking really slowly now and everything. She used to be like really even for her age really fiery and stuff and everything. She's speaking really like really slowly now. I love you, Submit, stuff, something like that. So we're gonna keep it. We're gonna be monitoring her And I don't know if she was already diagnosed at the time of this filming. From what I understand, the filming of The Last Resort was back in October of 2025 and stuff. So I don't know. But then again, The Other Way was airing around that time too. So it might have been. Who knows? Okay. So yeah, so Jenny and Submit arrived, and they want to try to get a little quickie in before everything gets started. All right. The next couple to arrive was Russ and Powell. Russ and Powell, the season one OGs. I'm so excited to finally get to cover Russ and Powell. They were from season one of 90 Day Fiance, season one, episode one, and I'm so excited to get to cover them. So here's the thing with them. From what I remember with them, Russ and Powell, like they moved, Powell's from Colombia, and they lived in Oklahoma. Then they lived in California. I think they like moved to Vegas and stuff or whatever. And Paula is a professional wrestler now and everything. Now, a few years ago on 90 Day Bears, she did like a little wrestling thing with somebody, and she did a great job with it. They have like a baby boy named I believe his name is Axel. He's like 6 years old and stuff and everything. Russ and Powell come to the resort and get checked in. And apparently now Paula is the breadwinner in the marriage and stuff. She's used Russ is using her credit card to pay for everything, and it's like really pisses her off because he's the man and stuff and everything. Like Russ said that he's like been like in and out of jobs recently and stuff and everything. So yeah, Powell's basically like been more the breadwinner, and Powell is just like on the break of divorce. Like she says she's gone to a divorce lawyer and everything. I don't think Russ knows that, but like she's just like on edge right now. So it's gonna be kind of sad to see how that plays out and everything. So yeah, that was Russ and Powell. The next couple to arrive was Kara and Guillermo. So Kara and Guillermo, we all know that we just wrapped up their story on Happily Ever After a few months ago. They we know the outcome. Like I'm even surprised they even went to The Last Resort, because like they've been separated for like a year and a half now. They decided to come to this resort to the last chance to really save their marriage. I do remember back on Happily Ever After, they did try to do some kind of therapy, and I guess Guillermo didn't take it seriously according to Kara and stuff. But this is their chance. So when they get checked in and go into their room, there was a debate of whether they were going to stay in the same room or not and everything. Guillermo, from what I noticed, is not sexually attracted to Kara anymore. Like he doesn't want to sleep with her and this and that, and I'll get into that more in a minute. But after some convincing, they did decided to stay in the room. They put on some like medieval clothes and stuff, and I think Guillermo made a snarky comment, and Kara called him Lord of the D word and stuff and everything. I'm not gonna say and stuff. And Kara was giving him the invitation to sleep in the same bed with him and stuff and everything. And he was like, Kara, every time you do that, you use me for sex. And she was like, use you for sex? How? He's like, one time, I think he said this on Between the Sheets. Like I guess like she put up a video of like a girl with a big rare end with oil on it, and wanted Guillermo to do the oil thing and stuff, and so he did it. And then like the next day he wanted to do it, and she didn't want to and stuff. I guess he feels like she only wants it whenever it's convenient for her, instead of convenient for it being convenient for him and stuff. Now everybody was just like, well, how is she taking advantage of you with sex when you guys are married and stuff? Well, I feel like because Kara, and this is going to be talked about throughout the season that I'm aware of. Kara is part of the group that has OnlyFans apparently, and yeah, she does some pretty graphic stuff on her OnlyFans that Guillermo does not like and does not approve of, and I don't think he's actually sexually attracted to Kara anymore because of that and stuff. And we'll talk more about that throughout the season when they reveal that. But I already can see why Guillermo was acting the way he was, basically. So yeah, that was Kara and Guillermo. The next couple to arrive was Rebecca and Ziad. So I'm excited to cover them too. So Rebecca and Ziad, now we see them a lot on 90 Day Diaries over recent years. You know, Rebecca's in her 50s. Ziad is my age. He's like 33, 34. And Rebecca is very, very like, she used to be a private investigator. She said on Between the Sheets, like she kind of had, with being a private investigator, that she kind of knew that they were going to a castle in the UK, like when they found out that she was going to be on the last resort and stuff. So on a more recent episode of 90 Day Diaries, Rebecca followed Zia somewhere, and she saw him outside with a girl, talking to a girl, and like she freaked out. She confronted him about it, and he was just like, "Rebecca, this girl is my friend's wife, and I'm just like, we're just out here waiting on her husband. Like, what the heck?" And everything and stuff and everything. So like Rebecca is just all, and she's always been like this with Zia. She's always been like really paranoid, because I don't know why. I don't know. Rebecca's just all. Every time I see her with Ziad, like she's just always paranoid with him. Like she's always accusing him of things and stuff. Yeah, okay. Does he have suspicious behavior at times? Yes. I think she says in a preview that he's out until like 4 in the morning, somewhere doing something and stuff. You know. I don't excuse that behavior, but with her being so uptight all the time and she doesn't know how to loosen up, I like I don't blame him. Would I do it? No. But I don't blame him for being out that late because she's so uptight all the time. We've seen her and him sitting at the table eating and stuff and getting ready for this therapy session, getting for the whole thing of therapy. And she flat out told him, she was like, "You better not run away during any of this therapy time." But she was like, "You like to do that and stuff and everything." And she's like, "You don't tell me how," and he was like, "You don't tell me how I should live my life and this and that and everything." And stuff. So we can see there's just a lot of power control, and we'll talk more about that later and stuff. Once I get through it, everybody's coming in and stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. And the last couple to arrive was, and this is a big surprise, but now I can see why with recent events, was Patrick and Thais. So Patrick and Thais, they arrived and everything. On the surface, on the outside, they look like they're, that could be the couple that's gonna work out and stuff. They said like everything on the outside looks great, but on the inside, there's just a lot of problems. We seen on a recent episode of Diaries that Patrick is really insecure, about like, because he's always, I guess he wants sex a lot, and Thais doesn't want it all the time and makes excuses, and then when she doesn't want to do it, Patrick assumes that she's cheating and stuff and everything. And so there's that issue. We seen them in their room. Thais had like this like skirt on and stuff and everything, and he was worried about guys looking at her, really wanted her to cover up and stuff. And she was like, "Nobody's gonna look at me." She's like, "I have a wandering eye and I'm looking at you." Now, this is the first time I really saw Patrick like have some kind of control over Thais. I didn't notice his controlness like in previous seasons, but when he was talking to her, like, I'll be watching you when if guys are looking at you and stuff. I was like, okay, there is a problem and stuff. Now, and we'll talk more about it later, but Thais has been doing some shady behavior and stuff that got everybody questioning. I don't think she's cheating, but she has done some shady behavior and stuff, which leads to everything that's been happening recently that we know about. So yeah. So now all the couples are finally checked in and everything, and now like they all got like a little like card to say we're all gonna meet at a pub to meet all the couples and get get acquainted with each other. So Sarper and Shekinah are waiting for their van, and Russ and Powell come in. They introduce themselves, like, they say they don't really know much about each other, really. I think like Sarper knows and watched them from season one and stuff. They get in the car and head over to the get into the pub and stuff and everything. And yeah, so after everybody gets to the pub and stuff, all the other couples come in. Who came in? Who came in next? Okay, Russ and Powell, Sarper and Shekinah. Then Patrick and Thais came in. Okay, so yeah, this okay at the it was Patrick and Thais. Patrick and Thais came in. Thais comes in, and everybody's doing, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you, my fan, blah blah blah. And they sit down, and all the girls sit down and stuff. And then Shekinah was kind enough. I guess like Thais needed something, some kind of eyeliner or whatever, and everything. And like Shekinah was like, "Oh, I used to do like I'm a makeup artist. Here, I can give you some eyeliner." So she gives her some eyeliner and stuff and everything. And then this is where things start like becoming some BS. Thais, Shekinah was just like, so, Thais, we used to talk a lot on social media. We followed each other. We had some conversations about makeup. And next thing I know, I noticed that you're unfollowing me. And Thais was like, wait, what? Yeah, Shekinah was just like, oh, on my Instagram, I saw that you were part of my suggestions to follow, and I thought we were following each other. So why'd you unfollow me? Thais was like, I don't know. Like, I didn't realize that I did. She was like, she kind of was just like, well, it doesn't just magically do that and stuff. You just, and there had to be a reason why you. She's like, I don't know. And then she kind of just started getting really defensive about it. And then, just starting stuff and everything. Then we seen Sarper and Patrick have a conversation. Sarper wanted to confront Patrick because there was an episode on Pillow Talk that they did where Patrick said that Sarper has really big ears and stuff and everything. So Sarper sat down Patrick and everything, and they talked about that. He was like, I saw some comments from Pillow Talk and about my ears, and he's like, yeah, he was like, well, yeah, you have big ears, you banged a lot of women, I mean, it's impressive and stuff. He's and Patrick was like, I don't really want no beef. I'm not here to fight. I'm here to work on my marriage. He apologized to Sarper. If my ear comment made you uncomfortable in any kind of way, like, I'm sorry. Sarper forgave him. He was like, but if this happens again, we're going to fight. And Patrick is like, man, I got 40 pounds on Sarper. I could take him in a fight and everything, but I'm not here for that. And then now they're cool and stuff and everything. Then Jenny and Submit come in, and this is where things get funnier too. Jenny and Submit come in, and everybody's like is a fan of Jenny and Submit. Like, everybody was just like, oh my god, it's so great to see Jenny. Like, we watched her and everything. And Submit, he's so tiny and everything. We thought Submit was taller than what he was, and he's really short, this and that. Everybody's hugging in, and Rebecca and Zia come in and stuff too. And everybody's just hugging and loving on Jenny and Submit. They were like so popular. And Submit was just like, let's just get some drinks and stuff and everything. He took a couple drinks, got reacquainted with everybody. And then Submit wanted to take more drinks and stuff and everything. And Jenny was just like, you're not doing this. You're not doing it. He's like, wait, what? And then he was like, did you meet Sarper? Like, Sarper's going to look out for me. And Jenny's like, no. Like, you're not going to be doing this right now. You drink too much. And like the girls asked Jenny, like, so what's going on? Like, why are you like this with Submit? And she was like, because Submit be walking into walls and tripping over things every time he drinks and stuff. So She was just like, I'm not doing with it. So Jenny pulls Submit outside. He was like, look, you're not gonna do this right now. And he was like, well, you just embarrassed me in front of everybody and told them what I did and stuff. He's like, I don't and she was like, I don't care. Like, you're not gonna be getting drunk like this and everything. So, so you either come with me or you go back in there. It's your choice. And at first he went back in there, and Jenny walks off, and she called him an idiot and stuff. I was cracking up. He was like, idiot and everything. And then Submit comes back in and said, I come back here because it looks like I don't have any other choice. I can't do nothing with my life. And she's like, you can't do nothing with your life, seriously. Now everybody's saying that, oh well, Jenny's acting like a mother to him and stuff and everything and all that. And probably, there's probably a little bit of tendencies there, with their age gap. They're 30 years apart in age. So Jenny just feels like Submit feels like Jenny is more of his mom more than anything. He was like, I already have like a crazy mom. I don't want my wife to be another mom too and stuff. But dude, you know what you got yourself into, basically. So Submit was just like, I'll just go with you, Jenny. They go back to the room. They go back to their room. He's throwing towels and stuff and just having a fit and stuff and everything. But whatever. Meanwhile, we get back to inside the pub, and Thais and Shekinah decide to have another conversation, and she was just like I tried to ask you about the following thing, and you kind of like dodged around it and kind of like lied to me and stuff. It just doesn't magically like like it just doesn't magically you don't magically unfollow somebody and everything. And she was just like, I may have unfollowed Guillermo. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the big fuss is. And what is the big fuss? And she kind of was like, it's a big deal on this day and age of social media. I'm like, yeah, Shekinah, but how old are you? You're in your mid 40s. Like, look, there's a lot of people that unfollowed me. There's people who unsubscribe to me. There's people who unfriend me. There's people who block me for no reason. Sometimes it doesn't get to me. Now, if I did something and I would understand, like, when I didn't like do anything or say anything, like I sent somebody a friend request and they didn't accept my friend request, and then I noticed now that they blocked me. I didn't send no message or anything, but I sent a few friend requests. It's one thing not to accept it, but I'm blocked without sending the message. It's yes, it's we don't really understand people's reasonings with the social media, with the blocking, unfriending, and unfollowing at times. It's kind of annoying, like when you didn't do anything, but if you did something or really said something, then I understand why you get blocked, unfollowed, unfriend, unsubscribed, or whatever. So, but to bring it up for someone in their mid 40s to bring that up and make a really big fuss about it like that, like, come on, I'm not gonna like to the person. If I see the person who blocked me and just for sending a friend request, I'm not gonna confront that person. Hey, I sent you a friend request and you blocked me. I'm not gonna do that. That's childish and stuff. Maybe okay, you just don't want to be my friend. That's fine. That's fine. Like, okay, whatever. I didn't do nothing, but whatever. I'm not gonna make a big fuss about it. Life goes on. I got other things to worry about. So, so yeah, so a lot of people are just now with recent things that have been happening. We all know that Thais recently was arrested for domestic battery. The charges were dropped. It was revealed that she hit Patrick like in a fight over the kid recently, and then social media went off. Shekinah went off about it because and everything, telling her to deport her and everything, and all the girls from the last resort came to Thais's rescued and to gain up on Shekinah. Now, everybody looked at all of that as Thais, Kara, Rebecca, and Yara, and all of them were being mean girls. Now, I can tell the difference between a mean girl and Pal and stuff. I can tell the difference between a mean girl and stuff and everything. Those girls were not mean girls. Somebody thought that everybody's going to gain up on Shekinah and stuff. Shekinah is the mean girl, okay? Shekinah is the one that's the mean girl. I don't agree with the bullying, but her and Sarper are bullies. I'm sorry. Like, I don't think they watch my videos. I'd be surprised if they did. But Sarper and Shekinah are bullies. it's I'm it's just obvious they're bullies, and we seen it from Shekinah, more so Shekinah. And the reason I say Sarper is because I seen a preview for the rest of the season that he's gonna get into a physical altercation with Guillermo, of all people, Guillermo, like sweet innocent Guillermo. Guillermo's like me. He don't like he's just he tries to be peacemaker. He'd be like, hey, that's messed up, man, and then Sarper getting mad and pushing him and try to fight him and stuff. We'll see that later in the season, but yeah. So I'm sorry, Sarper and Shekinah are just like they're gonna make the season so draining. If it wasn't, I think all these other couples like could all easily get along with each other and just focus on themselves. But Sarper and Shekinah are the ones that are just gonna be the ones that just like causing rifts between everybody and stuff and everything. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, finally, everybody is gone to bed and waking up, and now it's time to finally have the first group therapy session. We meet these new therapists. Now we got brand new therapists because apparently the last couple seasons therapists were terrible. They probably got fired and stuff and everything. But we got all new therapists and stuff. We got 2 relationship coaches, and 1 sex therapist, basically. We all have group therapy. The first couple they went to was, I think it was, who was it that they went into first? I think it was Patrick and Thais. Yeah, it was Patrick and Thais that went first. So they asked, like, what's going on with Patrick and Thais. So Patrick claims that Thais has made multiple trips back and forth to Brazil recently to visit family and stuff and everything. But while she's been in Brazil, like she's gone really distant. Like she doesn't communicate with Patrick. I guess sometimes the baby's with her and stuff and everything. He doesn't know where the baby's at and stuff. And Patrick is basically assuming that she's cheating and stuff. He noticed something really, really odd one day, and this is kind of questionable. Patrick saw that there was like almost a $2,000 charge on his credit card and everything, and he did not know what it was. He confronted like Thais about it. And she didn't. And she said it was something for her and stuff and everything. So the therapist asked her like, what did you use that $2,000 on? Thais in Brazil used it on a liposuction on her back. And that is crazy. And she didn't tell Patrick because she knew it would cause a fight. I'm like, you're gonna cause a bigger fight by not telling him. You caused a bigger fight by not telling him that is big. That is something not she's sitting on between the sheets that everybody was wondering, like, how did you not know? How did he not know this? And she said that every time they would have sex, she would leave her shirt on. Every time she would come out the bathroom, like she would make sure her back was covered and stuff and everything. Like she was like doing some really like suspicious stuff. Patrick said that he noticed some dots on her back or whatever, so he knew something was off and everything. But she went and spent almost $2,000 to get a liposuction on her back, and didn't even tell her husband. Like, and I used to really like Thais. Like, when I first, like, Patrick and Thais were on the first season that I started covering and started doing YouTube and stuff. And I said at the time I hadn't, like, Thais was my new 90-day crush and stuff and everything. But yeah, I agree with Patrick. She's been doing some really shady behavior and stuff. And the therapist asked her, and he's like, do you feel like not holding that information was a lie? And she said no. So this is why they're here. I'm starting to see it now and everything. So I feel for Patrick in that moment. Do I think she's cheating? As of right now, I still don't think she's cheating. I think Patrick needs to loosen that up a little bit. But she has been doing some really shady behavior. Excuse me. So yeah, that was Patrick and Thais. The next couple they went to was Russ and Powell. And so it's just like the same thing I mentioned earlier. They, Powell's just not happy, and they talked about their intimacy, and she said something that she's just like in like, just feels like a cow. What was it, like a standard cow or something like that? I forget. It has something to do with the cow, like with their sex life and everything. And everybody was just like, okay, what the heck, basically, what in the world? So, yeah, but rest like Powell just feels like she's done. Like, and I don't know just how she was sounding. She hasn't even said to Russ that she loves him in a while and everything. She just feels like he's just like not into it no more, and like she went to go to a divorce lawyer and stuff and see what she can get, and she's just praying that this like hoping Russ is just hoping that this is the last chance to save their marriage and stuff. I really feel bad for her, for Russ and Powder. Like I said, they're season one OGs, and they just had an anniversary. This is their 12-year anniversary and everything, and they got to spend it. They got to spend it at the last resort, and praying that this anniversary is not their last, and that they don't get divorced and stuff. So after that, after Russ and Powell, then they went to Sarper and Shekinah, and typical Sarper and Shekinah. They're talking about the power struggle, basically. They talk about like he wants to be in charge. Sarper's like, she wanted an alpha man. I'm an alpha man, and she was like, I want an alpha man that knows what he's doing, could take charge, but in a like more of a better way, and has the stuff together, not being an a-hole like Sarper is, basically, and everything. And Sarper was like, I left my beautiful life to come here and everything, like, and she was like, beautiful life. You have a beautiful life now here too. And Rebecca chimes in. She was like, he just wants everybody to like bow at him and everything, like, and control him and stuff. And Zia, he was like agreeing with Sarper. He's like, yeah, he wants to be in control. Like, there's not, what's wrong with that and everything. And Sarper told Rebecca, I'm sure you don't let him control and everything. And then and Rebecca told Sarper to shut up. Now all of a sudden, Shekinah wants to yell at Rebecca and like, girl, don't tell my husband to shut up and everything. And she was just like, shut up. Now, because earlier, after Thais and Shekinah had gotten into it, like, Sarper decided to remove himself from the situation, and Shekinah got mad at Sarper for not like defending her, and that. And I'm like, what's there to defend? Like, you started that. You're the one flipping out over social media. Sarper doesn't want to be involved in that, and now you're screaming at him and stuff. Now, like, you were just bashing him. Now when Rebecca told him to shut up, now you're defending. Now all of a sudden you say, don't talk to my husband like that. Like, which is it? Like, what is it for real? And stuff. And that's basically where we left off. Man, this was just a lot for the first episode. I talked for over a half an hour just talking about this BS. Yeah. So next week, I think we're going to see more the rest of the couples, like what's going on, like Kara and Guillermo, more with Rebecca and Zied, and Jenny and Cement and stuff and everything. I do know that Zia is going to apologize to Sarper on Rebecca's half and everything. See, here's the thing. Rebecca got a mouth too. Rebecca just needs to stay out of it. She's another one who just likes to be involved and has something to say about everybody else, but she needs to be focused on herself. So yeah, it's gonna, guys, this is gonna be a long season. Like, y'all pray for me. This is gonna be a tough one for me, but we'll try to get through it. I promise, guys. But anyway, guys, that is the end of my review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. To all my new subscribers, thank you so much for joining this channel. I hope you guys enjoy my content. I'll be back on Monday to recap 90 Day Fiance. And yeah, we're rolling. We got some new stuff. I'm going to be doing that show that premieres on June 15th called 7 Little Singles. So be on the lookout for that. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much, and I'll see y'all again soon. Bye, y'all.